विद्यार्थी मित्रांनो नमस्कार. मी प्राध्यापक बाजीराव पालवे, MSc B.Ed, MSc इन झुओलॉजी. मी अहमदनगरमध्ये पालवे बायोलॉजी क्लास या क्लासचा संचालक आहे. गेली अनेक वर्षापासून मी 11वी 12वी MST CET आणि नीट या कोर्सेसचं बायोलॉजीचं अध्यापन करतो आहे. आणि माझ्या क्लासचे बरेचसे विद्यार्थी मेडिकलला गेलेले आहेत. काही डॉक्टर होऊन प्रॅक्टिस करत आहेत, काही मेडिकलचं शिक्षण घेत आहेत, बरेचसे काही फार्मासिस्ट झाले, ॲग्रिकल्चर ऑफिसर झाले. अशा प्रकारे या क्लासचं योगदान यापूर्वीचं आहे. आता मित्रहो, सध्या कोरोनाच्या पार्श्वभूमीवर आपल्या देशामध्ये लॉकडाऊन चालू आहे आणि हे लॉकडाऊन केव्हा संपेल याचा आज तरी भरोसा नाही. आणि त्यामुळं सध्या देशातल्या सर्व शैक्षणिक संस्था आणि कोचिंग क्लासेस यांचं अध्यापनाचं काम बंद पडलेलं आहे. म्हणजे ज्याला ऑफलाईन टीचिंग म्हणूया आपण, किंवा वर्गातलं अध्यापन ज्याला आपण म्हणूया, ते सध्या बंद आहे. मग आता याला काय पर्याय आहे? मग शैक्षणिक नुकसान होऊ द्यायचं का मुलांचं? तर एक पर्याय त्याच्यावर सध्या आहे, सुरू झालेला आहे. बहुतेक शैक्षणिक संस्थांमध्ये, कोचिंग क्लासेसमध्ये तो पर्याय सुरू झालेला आहे. आणि तो पर्याय म्हणजे ऑनलाईन शिक्षण पद्धती. ह्या ऑनलाईन शिक्षण पद्धतीमध्ये काही पर्याय आहेत. कोणी व्हिडिओ लेक्चर्स तयार करून पाठवतं, कोणी डायरेक्ट ऑनलाईन क्लासेस घेत आहे. तर मी पालवे बायोलॉजी क्लासतर्फे सध्या 12वीच्या वर्गासाठी व्हिडिओ लेक्चर तयार करून पाठवतो. आता 10वीतून 11वीत जाणारे जे विद्यार्थी आहेत, 10वीची परीक्षा ज्यांनी दिलेली आहे आणि त्यांना आता 11वीला ॲडमिशन घेणार आहेत ते, तर अशा विद्यार्थ्यांचे क्लासरूम्स केव्हा सुरू होतील हे आजही सांगता येत नाही. आणि म्हणून त्या विद्यार्थ्यासाठी 11वीच्या वर्गासाठी मी व्हिडिओ लेक्चर्सच्या माध्यमातून अध्यापन सुरू करणार आहे. आणि तिची तारीख असेल 15 जून. 15 जूनच्या नंतर म्हणजे 15 जूनपासूनच मी व्हिडिओ लेक्चरमार्फत 11वीचं अध्यापन सुरू करणार आहे. आता ज्यांना यासाठी रजिस्ट्रेशन करायचं आहे अशा विद्यार्थ्यांनी माझ्याशी फोनवरून संपर्क करावा, म्हणजे त्यांचं रजिस्ट्रेशन करून घेता येईल आणि त्यांना व्हिडिओज पाठवता येतील. फोन नंबर या ठिकाणी दिलेले आहेत, ते प्लीज नोट करून घ्या. 7248958046 हा एक नंबर आहे. दुसरा नंबर आहे 9970642076. या दोनपैकी कुठल्याही नंबरवर माझ्याशी संपर्क जर केला तर आपल्याला रजिस्ट्रेशन करता येईल. तरी या ठिकाणी मी पहिला 11वीचा जो अभ्यासक्रमाचा एक पहिला व्हिडिओ आज मी रिलीज करतो आहे. आणि ह्यानंतर हे व्हिडिओज दर दिवशी किंवा दर दिवसाआड हे आपल्याला पाठवले जातील. डिअर स्टुडंट्स, लेट अस स्टार्ट a topic from 11th standard, the human nutrition. So first of all, let us know what is nutrition. Nutrition involves 5 events and a set of 5 events together constitute the process called as nutrition. So the first event is ingestion, second one is digestion, third one is absorption, fourth one is assimilation, and fifth one is called as egestion. First of all, the ingestion. Ingestion of food means to take the food in through mouth. It is the first step in the process of nutrition. Second step is digestion. In this process, the complex and indivisible food molecules are converted into simple and diffusible food substances. Now the third step is absorption. In this step, the digested food components, that means the glucose, amino acids, fatty acids and glycerol, these are the digested food components. These are absorbed in the blood as well as in lymph. So this process is called as absorption. The fourth step is assimilation. After absorption, these digested food components are carried to the tissue cells, body cells. In the body cells, these food components are oxidized and energy is liberated. Part of this energy is utilized for life processes, and part of this energy is utilized for synthesis of protoplasm. So this process of synthesis of protoplasm is called as assimilation. And the fifth step in the process of nutrition is egestion. Egestion means to throw out the undigested fecal matters. So these 5 steps constitute the nutrition. Now we have to study the human digestive system. The human digestive system consists of 2 parts. One part is alimentary canal and the other part is the digestive glands which are associated with alimentary canal. Now let us first study about the alimentary canal. The different parts of the alimentary canal are as follows. We will see these parts in the figure itself. The first part of the alimentary canal is mouth. Then the buccal cavity, pharynx, esophagus, stomach, then small intestine. The first part of small intestine is called as duodenum. Middle part is called as jejunum. And the last part of small intestine is called as ileum. Then large intestine. The large intestine starts from cecum with appendix, then colon and rectum. So, and this rectum opens to the outside by an opening called as anus. So let us study these parts of alimentary canal first. We will study these digestive glands, associated glands later on. I will just mention the names of these digestive glands. These are the salivary glands, liver, and pancreas. So, these are the three types of digestive glands which are associated with the alimentary canal. Now, let us first study about different parts of alimentary canal. Now, start from mouth. The mouth is the anterior-most opening of the alimentary canal. The mouth is a horizontal slit-like structure. It is bounded by two lips, upper lip and lower lip. The function of mouth is ingestion of food. That means to take the food inside. Now, the second part of the alimentary canal is buccal cavity. Buccal cavity. The buccal cavity, it is bounded by the upper jaw and lower jaw. It's a wall, the wall of buccal cavity consists of cheeks. Cheek म्हणजे गाल, cheeks. The roof, it consists of palate, and the floor, third, the floor, it consists of, or it is made up of the tongue. So, the cheeks, palate and tongue. So, these are the boundaries of the buccal cavity. The buccal cavity also contains the teeth, and it receives the secretions from salivary glands. Now, let us study about teeth which are present in the buccal cavity. In human, there are two sets of teeth. First set is called as milk teeth or deciduous teeth. These are 20 in number. Later on, these milk teeth fall off and they are replaced by permanent teeth, the second set of teeth called as permanent teeth. And it consists of 32 teeth, a set of 32 teeth. So this condition is called as diphyodont, means having two sets of teeth. The condition is called as diphyodont. Now, the human teeth, the condition of human teeth is also called as heterodont. Heterodont means there are 4 different types of teeth. 4 different types: incisors, canines, premolars and molars. I, C, P, M and M. So 4 different types of teeth. Hence the condition is called as heterodont. these teeth are arranged in a particular manner. So, and they form dental formula. What is dental formula? Dental formula is nothing but the total number of teeth in upper half of jaw and corresponding lower half of the jaw. So total number of teeth in upper half and corresponding lower half of the jaw. It is called as dental formula. The dental formula for milk teeth is 2102 by 2102. That means like this. 2102 by 2102. That means canines, incisors, canines, premolars, molars. Incisors in lower half, canines, the premolar and molar. So this comes to be 2 plus 1, 3 plus 2, 5 and 5. That means 5 teeth in upper half jaw and 5 teeth in lower half jaw. So 5 plus 5, 10 teeth in upper jaw and 5 plus 5, 10 teeth in lower jaw. So 10 plus 10 is equal to 20 teeth. Totally 20 teeth. So this is the dental formula for milk teeth. 2102 by 2102. The dental formula for the permanent teeth is 2123 by 2123. 2123 by 2123. Means 2 plus 1 3 plus 2 5 plus 3 8. Upper half 8, lower half 8. So upper totally 16 and lower totally 16. So 32 teeth. So this is dental formula. There is one more condition regarding the human teeth. That is, the human teeth show thecodont condition. Thecodont means the teeth are embedded in the jawbone. Zabdaचं हाड. The teeth are embedded or fitted in the jawbone. So this condition is called as thecodont condition. Now if we study the structure of a tooth, I will rub out here now. The structure of tooth this is jawbone and the tooth is fitted into the jawbone by a type of joint. Now, this is the visible portion of the tooth is called as crown and the embedded portion is called as root. Root and crown. So, the cavity of the tooth is called as pulp cavity. Pulp cavity. And this pulp cavity contains the blood vessels, nerves, etc. Now, the substance of the tooth, substance of the material of the tooth is bone-like structure, and it is called as dentine. Dentine is the substance of the tooth. Now, this dentine in the crown portion, it is covered by hardest substance, hardest material, and it is called as enamel. So remember, the substance of the tooth is a bone-like material called as dentine, and the crown of the tooth is covered by the hardest substance called as enamel. Enamel. So this is the structure of tooth. Now come to the other parts of alimentary canal. The tongue. Tongue is a muscular fleshy structure situated at the base of buccal cavity. That means on the lower jaw, and it is attached posteriorly to the lower jaw by frenulum. While the anterior part of the tongue is free. The upper surface of the tongue shows projections, and these projections are called as papillae. Papillae. These papillae contain some taste receptors which are useful in tasting the food. Now let us study about the functions of both teeth and the tongue. First of all, the function of teeth. Teeth, number one, mastication of food, churning, mastication. Number two, to help in a mixing of food with saliva. Then the function of tongue. Number one, tasting the food. Second, mixing the food with saliva. Third one, to help in swallowing the food, swallowing the food. And fourth function of tongue is speech. So these are the four functions of tongue. Now come to the next point, alimentary canal, the pharynx. The buccal cavity leads into a common chamber called as pharynx. It is wide, and it is common chamber for both air passage and food passage. At the base of pharynx, there are two openings. One opening is called as gullet, and the other opening is called as glottis. The gullet opening continues into the alimentary canal, while the glottis opening continues into the respiratory tract. Now, esophagus, the function of pharynx. The function of pharynx is to swallow the food. That means food from the buccal cavity is swallowed or pushed into the esophagus. Now esophagus is a narrow tube, and it is lined by mucous cells. Length about 25 centimeters. It extends from pharynx to stomach. It opens into the stomach. The function of esophagus is to push the food forwards by special types of movements which are called as peristaltic movements. This is the function of esophagus. Now stomach, a wide, muscular, thick-walled chamber. It receives the esophagus anteriorly and it is connected to the duodenum posteriorly. The stomach is divided into three parts: upper cardiac part, middle fundus, and the posterior pyloric. Cardiac, fundus, pyloric part. The stomach receives the food from esophagus. It stores the food for temporarily and it performs two activities, two types of functions on the food. Number one, mechanical churning of the food by strong contraction and relaxations of gastric muscles, stomach muscles. So the larger food molecules are broken down into small pieces. This is called as mastication. This is one function of stomach. And second function of stomach is to bring about the partial digestion of proteins. Only proteins. No carbohydrates, no fats. Now the mucosa, that means internal wall of the stomach, it is lined by gastric glands. The gastric glands, they secrete juice, gastric juice. The mucosal lining of the stomach also contains some mucus secreting glands called as goblet cells. Now small intestine. The small intestine is a long and narrow tube, about 6 meters in length. It is divided into three parts. The anterior part, about 25 centimeters, forms a U-turn. It is called as duodenum. Duodenum. The duodenum receives two types of digestive juices. Digestive juice, that means bile, from liver and gallbladder. Another digestive juice, the pancreatic juice, from pancreas. So here the pancreas have its own duct, pancreatic duct. It joins with the bile duct and hepatic duct to form the common bile pancreatic duct which opens into the duodenum. The digestion of food mostly takes place in duodenum. Now, the middle part of the small intestine is called as jejunum, and the terminal part of the small intestine is called as ileum. The lining of throughout the length of the small intestine, it consists of intestinal glands and they secrete intestinal juice. Now, the large intestine. Large intestine, it is wider than the small intestine. and it is divided into three parts: cecum, colon, and rectum. Cecum is a pouch-like structure, and the small intestine opens into cecum, pouch-like structure. It gives out a finger-like process called as appendix. The appendix is rudimentary in humans. Actually, it has no function, but still it is present and attached to the cecum. But sometimes, due to the infection by germs or by accumulation of the food particles into the appendix, it swells, and then it becomes troublesome, and it has to be surgically removed. Now, cecum is the first part of the large intestine. Then colon. The colon shows three turns. The upper turn is called as ascending colon, horizontal colon, horizontal turn, horizontal colon, and the descending colon. So, this colon finally opens into a wide pouch-like structure called as rectum. So, rectum is the last part of large intestine, and this rectum ultimately opens to the outside by a small opening called as anus. The lining of the large intestine consists of mucosal cells, and these mucosal cells, they secrete mucus for easy passage of fecal matters. The opening, that means anus, is guided by the muscles, sphincter muscles, which regulate the passage of fecal matters. So this is all about the structure of alimentary canal. Next time we will study, or in the next lecture, we will study the digestive glands, liver, the salivary glands, liver and pancreas. And we will also study the histological structure of stomach and histological structure of intestine. So for today, we will stop here and continue next time. Thank you.